My goodness, what is going on, my gorgeous Cancerini? What is going on? To start with, at the beginning of this week, you are going to feel like so ambitious and so action orientated. You're going to feel so driven to succeed. But then at the same time, you are just going to start feeling so hopeless as well. Why? Purely because you are going to be dealing with multiple priorities at the same time, but you must not allow this to affect your adaptability, especially when it comes to like things that you feel so passionate about, you feel so great about, but it is always to do with some kind of adaptability. And this in itself is so important, because at the same time, you know, it's more about making a certain decision more difficult than what it actually is, only because what are you actually going through at that moment in time. It just makes things so much more difficult for you. You know, you see them in a more difficult light when you shouldn't. So it's more about you understanding that you need to make this decision, this very important decision that you're gonna feel so hopeless about. So first of all, you're gonna start, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You're gonna feel so ambitious, and so much is gonna start making sense here for you as well. You are really gonna start looking forward to what's to come into your life, my gorgeous Cancerini. But then at the same time, as I said, you know, it's about the decision that you really need to make, and you need to have this as a start point. So the problem is that you are going to see this decision like a very, very difficult when it shouldn't be. But just because you are gonna be dealing with other things that are gonna kind of make you a little bit emotional, you're gonna be dealing with multiple priorities, which is going to make this situation and this decision to seem worse than what it is, basically. So you are gonna, it's all gonna boil down towards you actually realizing that you do need to make this difficult decision, because in the meantime there is someone really strong and really powerful and really capable. You know, I'm not saying you're not capable, but somebody who you really think of very highly in your life, whether this is somebody who is directly connected to you in your life, or whether this is someone who you watch on the internet, it doesn't really matter. This person is in your life, and this person is going to play an important role. When you will be looking at that person, you will be listening to that person, and there is some kind of inspiration going to come through you when it comes to you understanding that you just need to make a kind of clear boundaries here. Because if you don't make a clear boundaries, then you are not respecting yourself. This is ever so important, to live this life in such a way, in such a powerful light, where we need to understand that sometimes we need to set the certain boundaries, the clear boundaries, you know, and that is very important when it comes to us taking care of ourselves, but also when it comes to us giving to ourselves the best, you know. So this is why this is so important, because ultimately you start seeing things in a different light, especially when it comes to things like this that can kind of slow you down unnecessarily. So someone is going to play an absolutely gorgeous role in your life when it comes to you understanding, okay, I need to set the clear boundaries, and I can set the clear boundaries by basically making this decision. And suddenly you are not going to see this decision really kind of horrible anymore. You're suddenly, things are going to change beautifully, and you're going to see this decision as a really good challenge that you are really going to enjoy. Something is really going to change within, and you're going to be able to understand this, you know, especially when it comes to you also becoming aware of like someone being maybe a little bit dishonest with you, and you're gonna understand this clearly, that somebody was like kind of a little bit dishonest with you, and this is also gonna be playing such an important role when it comes to you really kind of like you know, moving on with your life, and also like having this energy, you know, which is going to kind of put you in a rather optimistic mode when you're facing something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know, when you are in an optimistic mode, when you start something or you're making a certain decision, you know, you clear so much within, you know, because when we are scared and when we are fearing something, we don't really like we don't have a good good start, because we don't kind of like really set ourselves as free as we could be at this moment in time. So this is why this is so important, because that ultimately is going to lead towards you being an open-minded rather than being closed in to those things that you feel familiar with. You see, it's a lot about you coming out of yourself. It's a lot about you understanding that it's about coming out of the comfort zone, because after this moment in time you are going to be coming into the part of your life where you are going to be realizing that, you know, there are certain things that you're going to need to go through that you've never been through before, and then you must not let that scare you at all. You just need to again see that in a completely different light, you know, just like kind of jump in the water and then learn how to swim instead of worrying about it. It's one of my favorite sayings ever. If you don't jump in the water, you will never learn how to swim. So this is something that I want to highlight right now, right here, my gorgeous Cancerini, indeed, you know. And also, what else I was going to say, that, you know, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's like, it's a lot to do with your personal beliefs when it comes to freedom. You know, when it comes to freedom in life, when it comes to freedom on this spiritual journey, every single one of us has got a different view on what is making us feel free. Okay, so there is something that is making you feel like you're not free. Okay, so this is something that you need to break through. This is something that you need to come out of. There is something that is not making you free, and this is, as I said, every single one of us is seeing freedom, spiritual freedom, in a different light, because it depends where we are at our spiritual journey. So where you're finding yourself at, and where you're going to realize that you are at, it's like, it's a lot to do with like the things that makes you feel free, and something that you're self-doubting yourself. You must be very kind of like open-minded when it comes to this. You need to be, again, open-minded, but at the same time you must not kind of look. It's a lot about your personal beliefs when it comes to what exactly do you need to do in order to be free. Because something is making you feel like you're not free, and you need to really move on and move away from that restriction. And this is a lot to do with your personal beliefs, but it's a lot to do because you're self-doubting yourself about something that you shouldn't be self-doubting yourself about. Okay, so this is where all this is coming from, because it's causing this annoying, unfounded fear. And that in itself means that, you know, when it comes to this unfounded fear, this means that you need to kind of refocus your thoughts. And the only way to refocus your thoughts is to actually, the only way for you to refocus your thoughts right now at this stage of your spiritual journey is by you, my gorgeous Cancerini, releasing situations and people that are holding you back, because that way you are starting the process of the actual spiritual transformation. And only as soon as you do this, only a few days after that moment in time, you are going to become aware of this ending that is going to lead to a new beginning. But this is going to surprise you in the best possible way, because it's yet again going to provide you and show you clearly the new opportunity for happiness. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, it's like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, because it's about some kind of a really good news and message that you are going to have. But this is a lot to do with the recognition and victory and progress. You know, recognition, victory and progress. You're really going to feel so proud of yourself, my gorgeous Cancerini. But then at the same time, it's going to bring self-confidence into your life, especially when it comes to you understanding that you need to be the leader now. You need to put your foot down, because this is all kind of gonna like really have such a powerful effect on you, where you are gonna start seeing the bigger picture here, what a massive challenge you have actually overcome. And this is what you're going to realize just by that recognition, that victory, that progress, which is going to bring you self-confidence. This is all going to lead towards the much bigger picture, where you're going to realize, you know, that you have overcome something very hard and very difficult that was at the time, like for a long time, making you feel like you haven't got, that you've got like a lack of direction. You didn't feel as ambitious ambitious as you were, and you didn't feel as energetic as you were, and also you would feel like the energy, you know, you haven't had like as much energy as you normally would when you would be working on something really important. So this is just something that, you know, has been affecting you for a while now. So this is really kind of going to, you know, like pretty much so gonna lead towards this powerful spiritual path where you are going to find yourself at. This is absolutely brilliant. So this is all gonna lead towards your own spiritual path. This is so important, and that is going to be followed, you know, when I say it's going to lead towards your own spiritual path, you know, you're going to start feeling things like, on the spiritual terms, you're going to feel like you want to connect and reconnect with the community who think alike, with the people who think like you, and you are going to have in your mind like a certain ideas. You want to try this, you want to try that. You're going to surprise yourself like where all this is coming from, but then you will know something is changing because you are reconnecting yourself with yourself. So that's why you're having these little messages when it comes to your spirituality. Oh, I want to try this, I want to try that. It's important, of course it's really important, but at the same time, you know, this is why I say that this is going to lead towards your own spiritual path, indeed being absolutely highlighted for you here as well. And this in itself is going to be followed by somebody very compassionate, somebody very charismatic, somebody really optimistic, and somebody very powerful. This is a very powerful person in your life here, literally, who is pretty much so very supportive, you know, and a really good person in general. And through that person, you are going to understand even further, like important clarity, because that person is going to do something, and this is going to give you an idea. Oh my God, I want to do this as well. And it couldn't have been better time for you to kind of connect to what that person is going to do, because it's the right thing for you to connect to. It's not only bringing you clarity into your life, but clarity when it comes to making an important choice, and also how quick and how soon you must and you need to do. By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's like you're honestly gonna feel like you want to celebrate here. You're gonna feel so happy. You're gonna feel like you want to celebrate. You know why? Because you are really gonna feel courage to, like, kind of, it's about this courage and persistence, you know, and this is why you're gonna feel so happy, because you're gonna feel this courage to do, like, to basically to do something that you just thought that it was kind of lost. You just thought that it's like never gonna happen again, and you are, this is all gonna start like with you having certain memories and you thinking about somebody maybe who is not in your life anymore. Somebody who maybe died and passed away. You know, I know that somebody like from the spirit world, it's going to play an important role here. So do pay attention to little signs. Do pay attention to little signs, especially when it comes to somebody who used to be in your life, somebody who died, and somebody who used to be in your life. And something you're going to see connected to that person, related to that person. Something is going to remind you of that person, whether this is going to be their perfume, whether this is going to be the food they used to cook, whether this is going to be maybe just something that's going to be persistently in your mind when it comes to that person, and you know that person is there, or you're just going to feel somebody's over there, and then you look and there is no one there, but you know that there is something there, you know, and then you will feel who this is. You will know who this is, okay? So somebody from the spirit world is going to come through forward, and that particular person is actually going to put you in this mode where you're going to be thinking about some kind of happy memories and some kind of really nice memories, and this is going to make you feel nostalgic, but it's also going to make you feel like also going to remind you of something that you wanted to do in such a long time, that is connected to like things from a long time ago, and that spirit is going to remind you of this. And this is why you're going to feel like you want to have a party and celebrate, because you are going to feel a courage and persistence. You know, you're going to understand that you're going to need to be persistent about it, but it's all about the courage, which is really kind of going to move you away from the negative thoughts that you would normally have. And they are like, oh my God, you are gonna just start kind of like, oh my god, what if, you know, negative thoughts, you know. But then again, as soon as you become aware of these negative thoughts, just remember, you are in charge of your own life. You are in charge of your spiritual journey. If something feels right for you to do, just do it. If it's 5 million, 5 billion, 5 trillion people tell you like, no baby, no, and you know that this is something that you should do, just go for it. It doesn't matter. We are all unique. We're all powerful. We are all spiritual. We are all so similar, but then again, we are all yet so different. And this is why when someone tells you to do something, and someone's like shocked that you're doing something, it's their shock. It's to do with them. It's to do with their level of understanding. They don't know nothing about your spiritual journey and where you are at, the way you view things, the way you feel things, the way you go through things in life. So this is all going to kind of contribute towards you kind of getting a bigger picture here. And you really need to understand that this is to do with a very much so a really specific life cycle coming to an end. Wherever there is, I told you before, life cycle coming to an end, another cycle is about to begin. This is about your turning point. This is about change, and something is going to happen to you at the end of this week, and you're going to feel like, oh my god, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky. And this is going to be a clear sign and clear indication that you are going through some kind of a change, which is like a really great turning point in your life indeed. Okay, my gorgeous Cancerini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.